Good evening. I'd like to welcome you to the Den. I am your host, Sir Ed Honcho. I hope all of you are doing very well this evening. Hope that life is blessing you with everything that you want and need. Well, your needs first and your wants. But if you're not familiar with The Den Show is the greatest show on the entire interwebs. You can search high and low, and you'll never find a better show. And the reason why, well, because of you wonderful people. Each and every one of you amazing individuals whom I appreciate so much, who tune in every night, or those of you who tune in whenever you can. Those of you who have been gone away for a while and find your way back to the Den. I appreciate you all. With sincerity and gratitude, we have to talk tonight. But first, let's see who we have joining us. And we'll get into tonight's discussion. Plenty of things to talk about. And yeah. Which is another conversation. I got to discuss a few issues, though. I see the lovely Miss Sarah Lou joining us this evening. John, my favorite New Yorker. What's the motherfucking deal? 335. What's the motherfucking deal? Miss Bell, Northern Style. I don't know how much I can trust somebody who doesn't put a gallon of sugar in their tea, a la McDonald's style. But hey, Miss Bell, you all right with me? Heidi's here. So there's that. There's a doctor in the house, Dr. D. Kenobi, joining us this evening. 17. What's the motherfucking deal? Slapping the bot. All right. Savage Donald Trump, good evening. How are you this evening? What's the motherfucking deal? Barbados canceled itself today. What happened? They gave Rihanna some type of honorary something. I'd still hit it. I got it on the internet somewhere. It's, I realized when I was in high school, we were still getting shit on VHS. That's how long ago that was. The good old days. That shit is in a whole 120p. So it is the end of the month, right? November 30th, I think. 30 days, 31 days in November 30th. So I've been doing some thinking today, man. And got to make some changes. Changes. And these are changes for myself, but the changes will impact the Den. Pardon me, I got dirty nails. Oh, that's right. They knocked down the statue, right? Broderick's here. Delta Echo Golf, what's the motherfucking deal? Broderick, Recycle Barbecue Ribs, Brooks in the house. But, so, there are going to be some changes, Some for the worse, depending on how you feel. Some for the better, right? Yes, once a month has to be depressing. So, as you know, I'm going to be getting back to school here shortly, and that is going to be a bit of time-consuming effort and a couple other things going on. But I say all this to say that I'm going to probably end up changing the time slot and the frequency of the Den. So what I'm thinking right now for the best is I'm probably going to end up flipping the script and going, instead of weekdays, doing the Den on the weekends, probably like Saturdays and Sundays, and then making it a longer Den on the weekends. So this is my tentative plan, right? So it will allow me to do a few things, right? Allow me to get back to making the Den the way I want to make it, right? Because there's a lot of stuff I want to do, but with me, doing it daily, it doesn't give me the opportunity to upgrade some of the stuff I want to or change some of the things I want to, because, with all of my personal life duties, then, the time frame in which, I got to figure out what I'm talking about, Photoshop and everything, I'm like a one-man operation doing all this stuff. It doesn't give me the time that I want to adjust certain stuff. And then like me not really doing stuff on Saturdays, I kind of dilly and dally, but I try not to do too much PC related shit. So I don't know if some of the triple OGs, quadruple OGs, quintuple OGs may remember a show that I said I used to love a while back. It no longer comes on. And pardon me, I see it's doing some jankery here. No longer comes on. And someone made a reference to the show last night. And I got all these dumb apps open. And what I want to do, my ultimate goal is, like I said, is to get in the den the way I want to. Is to kind of model this show slightly, a little bit, right? So if you do know what I'm talking about, then, this should be familiar. If you don't know what I'm talking about, well, stay tuned. But like I said, it's just like I said, with me adding this to my life and having, like, say, taking classes and doing all these things, eventually something's going to waver, right? And even now, like with us doing it daily, I feel like I'm not putting out the best content that I could, right? And so that's why I say it's a question of quantity versus quality. And then there are some things I've been wanting to do with the den. Like I said, just a lot of change. Like there's just so much opportunity here to do things in a way that I would like to. And then, like I said, right now it's going to be a tentative, temporary change. We'll see how it works out. But with me having, all this other stuff going on, I'm definitely going to put, my primary focus into family first and, schoolwork and things like that. But the den folk, you guys are my extended family. So I just figured that instead of trying to force it every day, and then, with, like I said, an addition of activities being included in my day and trying to do this every single day except for Saturdays, I figured let's just have 2 great shows a week as opposed to, kind of forcing some of the shows. And that way that'll give me time to get certain things that I want to get together instead of getting in, having family time and then trying to rush and, get the show going, right? Because like I said, I feel like I'm selling y'all short as far as entertaining content, and I'm not maximizing my ability to grow and improve. So like I said, what's probably going to happen is there will be just throughout the week more short content, but tends to happen, like the reason why also, again, growth is important. What'll happen is, like, I'll be talking about, I want to do short videos. I'm gonna do some short videos, but then I just get to the point like, fuck it. I'll just talk about it in the den tonight, right? And so that in its own right kind of has an impact on growth, because people are gonna see this shit and be like, 3 hours, 2 hours. I'm not gonna watch that shit. It is what it is. Yeah. Yeah, John gets it. John understands. It's just like you feel a certain way, and I go back and, like I say, don't get me wrong, I enjoy it because I love the community, and it's fun, and I enjoy it. But it's just like there's the part of me who says, you can do so much better than what you're doing. You can put out, good content, great content, and then you can put out exceptional content. I feel like I could be putting out exceptional content, but with the frequency of it, it's kind of like, I'm watering it down. I'm going one place, let me hurry up and, figure out what I'm talking about. Let me get this together. Let me, Photoshop all this little shit, and it takes a little bit, and then make sure I got and then it's just like, so I end up, missing out on something, forgetting to do something, and then like I say, it just I'm not putting my best work out, right? And then when I stay up too late, I end up sleeping in late, it rolls over into the next day, and then it becomes like a residual effect, right? So no, I'm not asking for any support. I'm not asking for anything special. Uh, I'm not, doing any of that. Like I say, I think that I can improve. I can do much better. But like I said, with the addition of other activities that are going to require a little bit of time, I don't think it's going to be terrible. But I just want to make sure I have myself mapped out to have adequate time for any studying, any shit that I got to work on, and then I have a few skills I want to improve before I start taking some other classes next semester. I have some studying and stuff I need to do because I'm trying to test out of a couple of things. So I just want to make sure I have adequate time to do all that. And instead of it getting to a point where, oh, I'm not going to live tonight, not going to live tonight, not going to, let's just say right now, we're going to rock up the weekends, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what I say. That's what I'm going to do. It's going to be Saturdays and Sundays. We're going to have lives. They'll just be longer on Saturday and Sunday. So instead of like 6 days of 2 hour lives, maybe 2 days, and we go, 3 or 4 hours. And we'll see how it goes, And it'll be a little bit earlier. I won't start them at like 9 o'clock. It'll probably be something like 7, 8 Central Time, and kind of go from there. So, and then what I also plan to do with that is kind of segment them, so it's not having a bunch of just kind of randomness going on. You know what I mean? And like I said, I just want to be having more organization and structure as far as each show that I do, because I don't know. I just feel like it could be better. There's a few things. There's a lot of things I can work on to improve, but with that. But what I also plan to do is with the time during the days and stuff, I'm going to actually go back over a lot of old ends because there's so much reusable content there. I mean, you're talking about, what is this, 4 years of shit? What I say, it was like fucking 6 terabytes worth of fucking den shows. So I'm gonna go back and take a lot of old stuff, reuse a lot of content, and use that to, like I say, leverage some growth. Because there's no reason that shit should be just sitting there getting stale. Um, you know, Heidi, I got something special for you. Yeah, so that's what I think that I'll definitely do. Like I say, that way, knock everything out during the weeks, and then on the weekends, we just have a very fun weekend. So I think that's why we're gonna rock out like that. Told you, shit. Cash and Cage, what's the motherfucking deal? Devontae, what's the motherfucking deal? Yeah, so yeah, Heidi, a life, you know. Some of us don't sit up getting railed on our backs all day. Well, the behavior of billionaires. This is the behavior of trillionaires. Cause I'm a trill ass nigga. The shooting in Oakland County? No, I didn't hear about that. No, I did not hear about that. Yes, how dare me be responsible, right? Oh shit, 3 p.m. to midnight. I do not envy you. I do not envy you. But yeah, like I said, so I just got to, and then like I say, some other little things that I have going on offline. I can't lie, they've suffered slightly a little bit as far as business wise. So I got to take care of those things. And it is what it is. Oh shit! Speaking of that, I need to call my cousin. So like I said, it's. Don't get me wrong, I love it. I enjoy it. I look forward to each night. Uh, Heidi's infecting people. See, which I don't understand about Heidi. Heidi's telling you she's in medical school, but she's in German medical school, and we know what the Germans did in that place to those people. That's the kind of medical experiences or experiments that Heidi is currently working on. So there's that. But, you know, and I think it'll be better because again, like what YouTube is was a weird platform. Like YouTube is not necessarily a streaming platform, even though, you know, what it is. If you have a large base, cool, good. So that's why I say I'm going to start leveraging a lot more of the older, crazier content and bringing it back. And then, you know, going from there. And like I said, I just got some things to work on. Anyway, so that's that. Just saying that, getting that out the way. Less quantity, more quality. Oh, wow. 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 I don't know why when you said Oakland, I was thinking about Oakland, California. I did see something about the school shooting, and I didn't really get the details of it. That's all really. Um, I thought about selling crack. Thought about it. Crack's never been the thing to sell. I told you, even in my past experiences as a different honcho, crack was never it. I had like a short time frame of seeing how that whole thing went. Terrible clientele. Got the best hookups though. I mean, you got all the cable. I mean, all the cable and electronics you could use. But I'm like, again, I tell y'all, it's super funny when people say, man, Honcho, you're so patient. I don't know how you deal with certain people, how you do it. I'm not this patient in reality. Like, in real life, I am easily agitated, right? But I guess here, I'm in whatever, I'm in my little comfort zone. So I know, for the most part, everything is cool, right? But in reality, like I have a short temper. So that doesn't work well when you have very questionable clientele. So I couldn't do it. I don't see how niggas do it though. Like I don't see how niggas do it. Like I said, it was a very short stint, and never again. I just stuck to the easy stuff. But I do spit hot fire. I do spit hot fire. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get Broderick. Um, to open up his music business again. I'm gonna be his number one artist. Uh, Nah, but the thing about that is, people think crackheads, they mainly think like the Pookies or the nigga from Don't Be a Menace and shit like that. Well, no. Dog, dog. Oh man, I seen motherfuckers do that. I seen motherfuckers do the soap. I seen motherfuckers do some wild shit, dog. Like I seen some motherfuckers do some wild shit with that hardware. That's a whole nother conversation. Voodoo, what's the motherfucking deal? All right, so let's get into it, man. A couple of things have been happening around us. I know everybody's favorite anchor, Heidi's at least, Chris Cuomo, suspended indefinitely for assisting his brother with some shenanigans. Yeah, I need to send a replacement code. Um, Apparently, I guess he was pressing some people for some information and using that to help assist his brother. And CNN puts out a statement. Let me see if I got it over here. Again, just makes you look like shit as a company, and you still defend this fucking clown. But anyway, uh, says New York Attorney General's office released transcripts and exhibits Monday that shed new light on Chris Cuomo's involvement in his brother's defense. These documents, which we were not privy to before their public release, raised serious questions. When Chris admitted to us, this is a CNN statement. When Chris admitted to us that he had offered advice to his brother's staff, he broke our rules, and we acknowledged that publicly. But we also appreciated the unique position he was in and understood his need to put family first and job second. Now, I guess CNN is the only job in America that you put family first. You tell a motherfucking job, hey, fucking kid's sick. You don't have PTO. I'm gonna have to let you go if you end up going. Like anybody else, anywhere else, I won't say anywhere else. Most jobs, you don't get that type of put your family over us. We write your checks, buddy. But whatever. Um, we appreciate. That's the term you decided. We appreciated his position. Like, there's nothing to appreciate. Position ain't unique. That's nepotism. Everybody fucking does shit for their fucking family. Anyway, however, these documents point to a greater level of involvement in his brother's efforts than we previously knew. As a result, we have suspended Chris indefinitely, pending further evaluation. Right. So, a lot of crooks and criminals over at that CNN Criminal News Network. Doesn't Don Lemon have a case coming up? Right. He's in Florida, tanning his cheeks. So it is what it is. But again, it won't be anything major. And of course, Don Lemon coming to his aid and saying some stupid shit. Kind of skim through that. It really doesn't matter. Joy Reid, terrible person. Anywho, that's that. So first, shout out to Miss Holly. So here's the thing. I just learned something, right? I just learned something. I think the case is from Don Lemon when he put dirty dick juice in some guy's face. Not like that. I think he's probably on the other side, but he apparently put his bussy scent in somebody's face in a bar somewhere. I'm putting that as politely as I possibly can. I learned something new, right? After motherfucking trans, oh yeah, an Omicron. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's all that shit. But again, that doesn't matter to people. If people like have faith, especially with these celebrities, they just believe everything the celebrities say. They don't care. Motherfucker could stab a motherfucker. But as soon as somebody on the opposite side does something of the slightest, they blow it out of proportion. And it's the same thing on either side. You can say conservative, you can say liberal, whatever. Everybody does it. Like it's human nature. It is what it is. But I've learned a new thing. I've learned a new thing. Never heard of this before in my life. And do a quick poll. 0 for no, 1 for yes. Have you ever heard, prior to 2021, the term winter vagina? Yes, this is a phrase that I have been introduced to. Yeah, it does, right? It does sound like an adult educational entertainer's name, right? And depending on which search engine you use, I don't use the mainstream one. And so I looked the term up. And I looked the term up, right? And it's not as bad as the old blue waffle phrase, but I looked the term up, and of course, what came up, because I didn't have my safe search on, exactly that, right? So, winter vagina is apparently a situation that occurs when you're too bundled up and the kids' timing, they need better timing. When you keep the vagina too bundled up and it doesn't have the necessary environment to breathe and get circulation, there are a couple of side effects that can arise from this. I'm gonna be honest. Basically, it talks about vaginal dryness and all this other stuff, right? But what are these symptoms? Here you go. Symptoms include discomfort, irritating or burning sensation. That could definitely be an STI. Discomfort during sex, going off sex. I guess just a choice. I don't know if that's necessarily a symptom. Maybe it's a decision for the discomfort. Difficulty getting aroused and reaching orgasm. Well, if your snatch is burning, that's probably it's probably going to be a little bit of a problem. Surface of your vagina looking pale and thin, narrowing or shortening of the vagina. Well, some motherfuckers out there could probably benefit from that. Needing, a piece of shit. Needing to urinate more often than usual. Repeated UTIs, right? So while it's a very common problem, it's most likely to affect women who are going through or have already experienced menopause. Other factors, including medication, diabetes, breastfeeding, or childbirth, can also increase a woman's likelihood of experiencing vaginal dryness, right? So this lady gives these other tips. Well, this is one site. Another site that I originally saw it on basically made this like a pleasant form of saying a fucking yeast infection, because it started talking about discharge and all this other stuff. Let's see if I pull that up real quick. And yeah, so basically it's a fucking winter yeast infection. But now it's a yeast infection. Now they call it winter vagina. So I guess we got to make everything, PC. Well, I'm not available tonight. I got a little bit of winter vagina. How about tomorrow? No, bitch. Oh, terrible. Let's see if I can find the other one. So, ladies, if you're just having, and again, using the same search engine that I used originally, like I just told y'all, you'll know what came up. What's going on? All right. This one's claimed that, yes, and this, I hate the fucking, this shit was written so fucking terribly. It's a melting pot for infection. Symptoms of cystitis and thrush are odor and vaginal discharge, and the bacteria from these infections get trapped in the bikini hair, exacerbating the issue and causing discomfort. With all the padded and layering that women do in the winter months, said the air can become a little bit closed like Tupperware, and that it doesn't allow air in, making it impossible for the skin to breathe and keeping everything sealed in, right? So some of our beloved winter habits, such as taking hot baths, wearing heavy winter clothing, even dry air from cranking up the central heating, can upset the vaginal microbiome, creating the perfect environment for winter vagina, right? So you're not supposed to take hot baths, or so what do you like? So you shouldn't take a hot bath. You shouldn't cut on your heater. Like, I don't know. I think you got some pros and cons to this thing. You gotta really figure that one out. So only to be outdone by the summer penis. Terrible. That is probably a thing. That's why I gotta have a summer's eve in the bathroom. Yeah. So we all learned something new today. All right. We all have. Yeah, we definitely learned some things. This is why the data is so wonderful, right? We all learn together. A family that mows together grows together. Penn State. Is Penn State considered Ivy League? I guess I don't know. Apparently in sports they play in some Ivy League competition. I've heard they're supposed to be. I think they're up there. Penn State out here breaking records, right? Yes, Michelle, how you doing this evening? Conditions for every season, right? Penn State. We don't appreciate, we don't appreciate athletes like we should. And, football players get all the recognition. basketball players get all the recognition. Every now and then you have your Venus and Serena who make other sports enjoyable. Who made brought a lot of people to tennis. A lot of niggas to tennis. You had your Tiger Woods of the world, brought a lot of niggas to golf. Niggas still can't golf. But those lesser known sports, not those University of Penn is Ivy League. Okay, all right. So University of Penn, and this is what I'm talking about. I guess now that you mentioned, I see the difference. We got to appreciate athletes who break records, who are trendsetters, who are changing the game, changing the world that we live in. Let me show you guys something here. And also, you always got to put respect on the name of Texas athletes. You got to appreciate Texas athletes because they're everywhere. That's what makes sports so wonderful. All the best football players come from Texas. A couple of good hoopers come out of Texas. And I want to show you this record-breaking Texas woman who has set a bunch of records in the NCAA and has been flying under the radar. It has not been getting the appreciation that it truly deserves. Let me switch over. This is Leah Thomas. Let me slide this over so y'all can get a good look. Leah Thomas is making history, right, in Ivy League sports. Which y'all see this from Austin, Texas. So if you're from Texas, if you've paid any attention to Texas, Texas is generally thought of in a particular way. Austin is a little bit different. And I won't lie, like a lot of the metro areas in Texas are kind of getting weird, but white power. But Austin is particularly weird. Right? Austin is particularly weird. Leah Thomas, well, let's talk about her accomplishments, right? Let's talk about her accomplishments and what she's accomplished. God damn it, we already did the intro. I gotta cut that off. Let's talk about the accomplishments that Leah Thomas has set, right? Penn's Leah Thomas blasted the #1 200 free time and the second fastest 500 free time in the nation on Saturday, breaking Penn program records in both events. She swept the 100, 200, 500 free individual events and contributed to the first place 400 free relay in a tri-meet against Princeton and Cornell in her home pool. Do they pee in the home pool? Penn split for the day, beating Cornell 219-81, but losing to Princeton. So Thomas began the day with a 143.47 to win the 200 free, only a half second off the NCAA A cut. It is the second fastest women's 200 free time in the nation so far this season. And it would have scored in the A final at a 2021 NCAA championships. She came to the wall 6.1 seconds ahead of her teammate, Bridget O'Leary. Thomas clocked a 49.42 to win the 100 free, with the only sub 50 time. She then went on, 4 minutes, 32 seconds, 5.06 seconds to win the 500 free by 12.9 seconds. Her coach must be amazing, right? Defending Ivy champ, Ellie of Princeton, was third. Can't be champion forever. And Thomas wrapped up the day anchoring Penn's 400 free relay with a 49.01. The Quakers won by 2.4 seconds over Princeton with a 3:22.70. I think that y'all have figured it out. Leah Thomas is a woman, a trans woman. Talk about this from time to time. Women's sports are on the brink of being eradicated. It happened a year or so ago with the dude who was a dude up until his senior year. Then he just decided to flip the script. Was I think didn't finish better than like 18th in any of the track meets he was in, and then as soon as he became a woman, breaking records, breaking all kind of fucking records, right? We've seen it with biking. We've seen it with track. We've seen it in swimming. And these are kind of, I won't say track is interesting because track is kind of got a little bit of popularity only around the Olympics though. But you saw those guys in high school in Connecticut, or those young ladies, excuse me, those young trans ladies breaking records, right? But see, there's no biological difference because I don't know if they do it in high school, but I know in college and in the pros, there's a level of testosterone you're supposed to have. I think it's like 0.5 something, right? Or it's 5 point something. I'm not a scientist, I only play one on the internet. When the average woman only has about 0.5 to 1.7 to 1.47 of this particular level of testosterone, right? So even with all the therapies, all this stuff, you still got extremely high levels of testosterone. And it doesn't matter because the biology is still significantly different. I've never defended anyone getting the dirty R word. And Heidi,
respect them so much that I completely stay away from them.
So my thing is, like I said, no, raw hot dog slapping. I've been saying this for a long time. Women are going to get eradicated. Strong and Grand, appreciate the love.
Don't forget Fallon Fox out here cracking females' heads open. Truly progressive, stunning, and brave.
Ah, yes. Ah, yes. Again, well, I mean, I don't know, Heidi. If you think women are as equally strong as men, then, go for it. You're the doctor. Just hope you're nobody's primary care. Anyway, so again, we see it time and time again, and it's always when the man transitions into being a woman. Why has there not been a successful leap in talent when a woman becomes a man or transitions to a man? Why haven't we seen all of a sudden trans women in the NFL or trans women in the NBA or I'm sorry, trans men? I don't know. I don't even get all that stuff. Nah, I don't think so, Heidi. But yeah, Fallon Fox beating shit out of bitches. But didn't they have like a fight in the UK, a dude versus a chick? And that didn't turn out very well. Everybody was excited to see it, and then it was over before it started. Like, what do you think was going to happen? Remember, everybody was talking about, oh, Ronda Rousey, she could beat up Floyd Mayweather. Or Floyd Mayweather would have beat the piss out of Ronda Rousey. It wouldn't have been funny. If y'all think that little, who was it? The little guy kicked her in the head and made her want to commit suicide. She'd have got curb stomped by fucking Floyd Mayweather, right? It doesn't matter. You use whatever styles you want to. It wouldn't have even been close. Doubt it. Highly doubt it. I could take you hiding easy. Wouldn't even be an issue. But again, so what happens is what's happening is women are losing opportunities for the sake of progressiveness. That's why, like, I don't necessarily care about feminism, but if you're going to be a feminist or whatever, or you're going to be woke, whatever, the turf shit makes way more sense than anything. Because you like, when you're fighting for, if you're calling yourself a feminist, especially male feminists, they're pieces of shit. But if you're a woman and you're fighting for feminism, but you're also fighting for trans women too, then you are edging yourself out of opportunity. Because again, if we're talking about looking at records and times and opportunity, all those girls in Connecticut, the best they could do was a bronze because the two little niggas threw some wigs on and took off running down the track. They didn't even come close to catching them. No woman will ever break those records, right? Like, I don't care how much training and Shakarian you do, they'll never break those records, right? Yes. I murder it. I thought that's like the Argentinian dialect. I don't know. But again, it's a situation where I feel bad for all the young women out there because it's only going to get worse. They're going to keep pushing up the bold, brave, strong, trend-setting, pioneering. Look, the WNBA is super woke, right? They're all with it, all progressive. I cannot wait. Until you get the first trans woman in the NBA. See, Joanna Wan was just a movie, right? But pretty soon, I give it about 4 years, and it becomes a biography, right? It becomes a true story. Again, it's a situation where you got to just say, it's a wrap for women, and you did it to yourselves. You did it to yourself. God told you, hey, you probably shouldn't be doing that. But in the end, you're going to lose because none of them are coming over to men's sports and winning shit, right? That's the thing, because none of them. That's what happens. You know what? I can't quite cut it as a man. I can't cut it as the responsibilities of a man. I'll just be a woman, and then nobody expects shit out of me, and I can beat all the women in their sports, and I'll get praised for it. Like, we're living in a bizarro world. We're living in a crazy, crazy environment where somewhere out there, this makes sense to someone. If somebody's telling you that what you're doing is bold, brave, and strong, or bold and brave, and it doesn't involve you risking your life and saving somebody else, you're probably doing some dumb shit, right? But see, the transgender agenda is the woman's agenda. Are you a TERF, Heidi? Are you admitting to being a TERF? Because if that is the case, then you're a fascist. And you are also a not... Well, we already know that. Again, I'm just saying. The fact that Griner really thinks that she could beat the dudes in the NBA, that's the funniest shit in the world. The bitch can barely dunk. But again, because the alphabet agenda has absorbed the feminist agenda, it has absorbed the quote-unquote black agenda, the civil rights agenda. This stuff trumps everything. And again, the T's are at the top of the tower. The rest of the alphabet falls under that. Then I think you get blacks under that. And then you probably get like immigrants, artificial intelligence, and then like women are somewhere at the bottom. So that's the pyramid right now, right? Everybody's building off the back of the women at this point, but this is where we are. So, the main thing I didn't want to discuss, y'all saw it on the dilly, speaking of the blacks. Black people have made history. Black people have finally done it. I think oppression is over with. We've accomplished what we set out to accomplish.
Go ask Rowling how open and welcoming the LGBT plus community has been to her. These are the fruits of your tree, progressives. Good luck.
Appreciate the love, stronger. You're absolutely right, Devontae. Didn't Joe just say something else again today? Telling everybody how it's going to be a white minority in a couple of years, and not just because not because of the African Americans. Like, but niggas continue to support this clown, right? Niggas continue to support this obviously racist old man. Excuse me. What kind of fruit is it? Right? What kind of fruit? If let me word this in a way that I don't cancel myself. If each letter of that community was a fruit, a specific fruit, I'm not calling them all fruits, but I'm not saying they aren't fruits. And you know what? I feel bad because fruit is good. Like why does fruit get such a negative association with certain people? Like, would you rather be a vegetable or a fruit? I mean, if you had a choice, you know what I'm saying? Like, which one are you gonna be? But that's the game for y'all to chat. If each one of those alphabet letters was a particular fruit, which fruit would each of those letters be? Would love to hear your opinion in the individual letters. So each, I don't know what kind of, I don't know what the T's would probably be the hardest fruit to figure out. My mom sent me a Bible verse. What odd timing. So again, well, that's unfortunate. But again, like I said, so he said some things, right? And niggas found their ways to he didn't really say that. What he really meant to say was exactly what the fuck he said. Again, why this man has allowed so many flubs and gaffes, verbal flip-flubs, and people just come running the cape to defend this dude it blows my mind, right? It just it blows my mind. That other guy said one thing. He said, "What have you got to lose?" Right? What have you got to lose? And that was considered the most racist shit ever said in history. It was worse than a lynching. He said, "What have you got to lose?" And motherfuckers lost their shit. This motherfucker been in office. Like, I mean, we could talk about all the shit before he got elected, but I'm talking about in office. This motherfucker has said some of the most just goofy statements. And these are his real sentiments. He's old. He can't help himself. Grandpa's going to say what's on his mind. He don't know he's saying bad things. He said some of the most goofy shit. He's like, "Oh, you're taking it out of context." He was a great Negro of the time. We can't say Negro anymore? Oh, shit. Again, whatever. But, like I said, regardless of the leader of the puppet of the free world, Black people have made it. Black people have now reached the top of the totem pole. We are here. Civil rights is accomplished, whatever that means. Disney now has Black Santa Clauses. We've made it. Congratulations. It's over. We made it. Bring out the dancing mailboxes. We've accomplished what we need to. Yeah, don't forget the roaches. All of these things. Oh, that's not what he meant. He was talking about Joe's apartment, right? The lemon, ground plum, blue tongue, tomato. What's a blue tongue? We got lemon, grapefruit, banana, tomato. That's actually perfect. The tomatoes. I'm going to start using that. The tomatoes are at it again. And so here we are. But again, like people are celebrating this, people are acting like this is an accomplishment. And then, Santa got real gay over there in Sweden. Why do people feel like, making this fictional character, same way it's like with comic books, right? I hate when they blackwash comic books, right? You say, well, whitewash and stuff like, and it's crazy because the same motherfuckers will be whitewashing this show, and you're doing like you do the same thing, right? You're basically culturally appropriating. You're whitewashing. I got to use that. That was. I will make sure you get the credit attributed to you, Mr. Dad. But the tomatoes are at it again. That is a very safe way of addressing certain situations, because you got to have some kind of you got to have another kind of lingo on the tubes. Yeah, right. And so who was it? Was it Sweden that had Black Pete? They had like that used to be like the character that used to go with Santa Claus, and some people are like, oh, it's a black guy and he's Santa Claus's slave. Other people are like, no, Black Pete is like a white dude, but he turned black because he was always sliding. He was the one sliding down the fucking chimneys, right? And so it was like this big racist thing over there. They canceled Black Pete, and they canceled Aunt Jemima, and they canceled Uncle Ben, and now you can't see black people's faces on any products anymore, right? Like, what is there, right? And this is what I'm saying. Like the logic, it blows my mind that people feel like we're gonna cancel these iconic characters. We're gonna apply a little bit of black paint to these fictional characters, and we're gonna set the world right again. Like it makes no sense. Yeah, and I didn't see the commercial, right? But I heard about it. I have no reason to watch the commercial. Like what they've done, I don't know. Maybe that's like Xmas Santa, and then uh, you got Christmas Santa still with Mrs. Claus. So Christmas Santa's like still, knocking Mrs. Claus back out, but Xmas Santa, well, hide your kids, hide your wife, and hide your husband, because he's violating everybody out here. um, yeah, yeah, that's what I agree with. I say like none of that shit means shit. And again, like it's to the point where I blame the black delegation for accepting this shit. I blame black folks for thinking this shit means something. But it goes right along with the welfare state. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we'll give you a little something that keeps you of limited mentality, lacking ambition, and making absolutely no progress if you keep voting for us. And they keep accepting it. So you knows that it doesn't really do anything for you. But hey, as long as you got some representation, it's all good, right? It's not about results. It's not about achieving things. It's just about saying, hey, look, we can point to this and say we accomplished something. We took down some statues. Oh, great. Well, slavery's erased. We took the statue down. Amazing. Again, it is crazy. Is Norway where that commercial is? Okay. Uh, Pearl Mill Income. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Um, what? See, Heidi, this is what I'm saying right here. See, Heidi is in here. What was the hashtag? I don't know if y'all be on Twitter. Yesterday, the hashtag on Twitter was white people overstepping. Then apparently there were some. I've never been in a Twitter space. It's a weird thing to me. I have no urge to want to do it. Some people say they're cool or whatever. Twitter's going down the tubes. They just hired like an Indian or let me not say the wrong thing. A new CEO, right? Jack stepped down yesterday, and Privat Marishkanashna, I don't know what his name is. Anyway, he's taken over. And the first thing they do is now they said that showing videos of private citizens without their consent is against it. So basically talking about that activists or certain demographics are at a disadvantage when these videos are shown. You talking about niggas who beat each other up? They're at a disadvantage to willingly record this shit and upload the shit. They're at the disadvantage. Showing activists who are out here committing crimes and atrocities are at a disadvantage. Let me pull it. I got the got the actual statement here. So I'll just be paraphrasing shit. And, you know, I don't give a shit. I'm a paraphraser. Oh, it's the wrong account. And this is what I'm saying. Like, we got excuses for everything. Like, niggas feel good because people make excuses for them. And again, what is that? The soft bigotry of low expectations, right? And niggas embrace that shit, and it's they're magically delicious. Niggas embrace that shit. And okay, like, well, we'll dumb it down. We'll dumb down a curriculum to make you, feel better about getting this degree or getting this job. We'll lower the barrier of entry. And then you get there, you get the job, or you get to that point in life, and then you can't overcome the challenge because motherfuckers just handed this shit to you, right? And then you don't know what the fuck to do with yourself. It's what it is, yes. Parag Agrawal, I don't even know what his name is. But anyway, what it says is Twitter bans the sharing of images or videos of private individuals without their consent. Just one day after former CTO PA, was called him, was named CEO, right? And said the misuse of private media can affect everyone, but can have a disproportionate effect on women, activists, dissidents, and members of minority communities. What the fuck does that mean, right? Oh, Ronald Lively is a snitch. You know what I'm saying? Snitch. Yeah, I like Aunt Jemima. Aunt Jemima, though, on some real shit, Aunt Jemima looked exactly like one of my aunts. My aunt. Probably my least favorite aunt, but looked just like her, right? That's super funny. That bitch couldn't make no pancakes, though. So, yeah, and that's what I say. Like, now it's going to get to the point where they're going to use that as an excuse because when people share information and point out, these people doing dumb shit. Well, did you get their consent? No, nobody gets their fucking consent. When they're fucking violating and breaking laws and doing all that, that's like saying that video I showed you where and I went back and counted that video where they ransacked that little fucking store. There were 32 motherfuckers ran up in that little ass type store or whatever. Like, people don't give a fuck. People don't give a shit. So that's like saying, well, I got a video of this. These are private citizens, and I shared it, and I saw one of them over there. Well, they didn't give me consent. You need to take it down. So that's like, what if you could do that to the news? Hey, we're looking for this individual. Well, they recorded me committing this crime. I didn't give them consent to record me, so they need to take it down. It is crazy, right? It is crazy. It's just like, it doesn't make any sense anymore. We are no longer allowed to have social commentary about our society. Well, not on Twitter, at least. But I'm sick and tired of this. I'm sick and tired of motherfuckers who are trying to push this narrative. Oh, minority individuals and disproportionate. None of that shit exists. Okay. Like, if you are still suffering from that, it's probably because of some type of behavior in which you're engaging. Nobody is getting oppressed. Then we live like in a country where if you don't like something and you're well aware of all the information, like it would be different if this was back when we were less informed and there wasn't the technology to communicate fucking nationally, right? But if you're going through something, so like say you live in a small one-horse town and there is like a KKK there that all voted for Biden, and you're getting harassed and still getting shit burned on your line, and Google it. Hey, how do I move? How do I, what can I do to avoid? Oh, there's opportunities not like this everywhere. Oh, okay, cool. Hey, there's places where this isn't happening. But if you, there's 3 additional checks. Wow, I don't even know what that is. I'm gonna have to check that out. Yeah, they got some other platforms. I think I bookmarked that thing. Maybe I didn't bookmark it. I be thinking I bookmarked shit, and I did not. Oh. I know what I did. I need to save it. Yeah, I need to. But see, that's why I say I'm gonna take a lot of it when I start actually going through all this old stuff and repurposing a lot of this content. I'm gonna start sharing it on some other platforms and using it for my own good. Yeah. Said media of private individuals without the permission of the persons depicted. Right? That's crazy. And they're talking about doxing people and all of this stuff. It is not allowed. Whatever. It's always been a thing, but it is. Mystical's in the building. Hello, Professor Trill. But again, like I said, terrible. Well, then that's a them problem, right? If you got places, like I said, what is it, Heidi? The fucking places who probably are paying or getting the most money per student are often performing the lowest, right? And so my thing is, instead of lying to motherfuckers, let them know why they're having these problems. And if they don't want to adjust to that, then they need to be left in the fucking dust, right? And if they don't want to, cooperate, well, there's places for them. My dream one day is to run a private prison, right? I want to walk around and tell everybody call me boss man, right? I want everybody to say, hey, boss man. And I want to be just like that movie Life, right? And then I'm gonna line everybody up and say, who's the pappy? Well, more protection for Nordstrom, right? More security, up the ante. Again, now, would a younger Honcho probably been in a bad situation? Yeah. But maybe, just maybe, you learn, right? Maybe, just maybe, things change. Certain behaviors are no longer looked upon favorably. And it is what it is, right? With the dislike thing, well, I want to say, I think Voodoo mentioned it in the Discord, but I know like there's a program I've been using for a while, so I can still see. I don't see the number of dislikes unless I highlight it, but it shows the percentage of dislikes because I use certain things that bring up like demographics and shit on YouTube channels. No, not demographic, but like the information on YouTube channels. So now you can see other people's statistics. It's basically open. You can find out what keywords they use, all that different shit. Like, so I have like tools that do that. So I can still see, the dislikes and stuff like that. But I'm sure, some savvy individual will pull it up. And again, I think it's necessary. I think it's necessary to know this stuff. Like, this is part of the problem. Everybody likes everything. Everything's good. We're only going to show you the good side of stuff. And then people get misled and die. So there we go. Oh, yeah. Let me see. Yeah, it's definitely going to, you know what I'm saying? Move them up to the regular school. Smaller brains. I need to see the proof. Can't be proof from a white man, Heidi. So exactly. Like I say, I think it does matter. I'm getting some jank now. I must be saying too much. God damn it. That goddamn Honcho. He's saying them things again. Yeah, they've been doing that. And commercials to the unmonetized shit. Yeah, they're gonna make money off of everything any way that they can. Oh yeah. This DoorDash thing talking about crazy. So again, like I said, you just gotta toughen it up. You gotta step it up. And that's just what it is. Because you have to. Black folks are not gonna benefit from softer situations, foals either. It has to be harsher penalties, harsher consequences. You have to make them take the fucking challenge. Myself included, right? None of us benefit from shit being too easy. So with that being said, let's open up the line. We got about 49 minutes. And we can talk about some things. So for those of you who missed it, who were not in here earlier, I said there will be some changes here in the den. I'm going to be operating primarily on the weekends. And it's going to be called El Sábado Grande. Yes, that's what I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna call it El Sábado Grande, and then what is it? Domingo. Can we call it Domingo Gigante? We'll see if there's any. We'll figure it out. No, that's unfortunate. But see, well, here's the problem, Heidi. Here's the problem. Multiple choice questions. Give them too many options. See, when you start giving them multiple choices, the wiring starts misfiring, right? You have to A and B only, 50-50 chance, right? Because there's only, everything's black or white, right? It's got to be this or it's got to be that. Can't be anything else. So when you're out here giving these students, hey, Domingo Caliente, you know what I'm saying? Like you start giving them all these choices, Heidi. You're making them have to ponder all the opportunities and options, right? And so you're really just wasting time. See, what are you talking about? See, again, there you go. See, Heidi's a goddamn. I'm trying to get people right, and Heidi's over here. I guess I should actually cut on the line, right? That helps. Heidi's over here, trying to hold a black man down. I knew she was an agent. I knew it. I knew it from day one. Hey, at least they're working, right? Nah. But see, there's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Oh, well, I'm telling y'all about the Twitter space thing. I was talking about how I was going crazy. So there was a limp wrist in the Twitter space, and again, it's always black women in the limp wrists who are talking super reckless, dog, because again, nobody holds them accountable for anything, and they don't understand how to work. He was talking about white genocide, and he was talking super crazy. He ended up deleting his account because he was just, I stand 10 toes on it. I ain't afraid. I mean that now. We call off saying all kind of crazy shit. Then gets exposed and fucking deletes his account in like less than an hour or two. Like, see, you cannot say, no, I gave you the answer, Heidi, A or B. At that we're in an A or B world. It's either this or that. It's either fries or tater tots. Okay, this is how this thing works. It's either red or blue, right? You can't even operate a third party into the system. So look, we got a or B. That's it. A or B answers. We get them out of here, right? But so he was talking super crazy with a whole bunch of black women in there, a bunch of weavy wonders, and then he deleted his account. Right? Deleted his account. He was just talking real quick. I stand on it. But again, those type of people don't encounter real danger. Because if somebody was to press him, he'd start crying racism. He'd probably have a disagreement with him in public. He'd start crying racism. Those are those kind of folks. Like, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't bode well for those people to be put at the forefront as a representation of black folks. But see, the thing about it, I think most black men don't care, right? And you're going to push it hard, Black Ashley? I bet you will. But I think most black men don't care. They're just about, taking care of their business and kind of moving on. They're not either really truly aware. When I'm saying black men, I'm talking about guys, who are operating in a legal fashion, taking care of their family and whatever else, as opposed to world star Waukesha types, right? So again, I think most are just concerned about, the things that they can control, and they don't get involved with that. But what they don't realize is when you don't say things, when you don't openly speak out, and you're letting the limp wrists do the representation, when you let the Don Lemons of the world be the representation, that's what people are going to assume. It's a cultural identity. You may not, identify with it, You may not consider yourself a part of it, but you are, even though it's not by choice, because what people see is what they know, right? So that's why people say, oh, you talk too much about, black this, black that. Because I have to present, I'm doing the world a service, right? Because then if certain folks only saw niggas talking about certain topics, right? Or only leaning one way on certain topics, then people would only think that those type of black individuals exist, right? I got to be more specific when I'm saying niggas and black American and all that stuff. But right now, I'm freestyle king in here. Then they would believe that was it. They would believe that's the only way. I guess I should put that up there too, right? It helps. But when, we have a forum like this, we have a community like this, and you get guys that call in, you get the Dans that call in, you get the Devontaes that call in, and show you a different side. I don't know about the Trills. I still believe Trill has a woman tied up in the back of his sleeper, saying crazy stuff. But, when you get those type of people that call in and share their sides, it matters. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
Yo, Honcho, it's Devontae, and I'm tired as hell. So I'm making it short. My arms hurt. I can barely hold the phone. I am bent. Well, what's the motherfucking deal, y'all? So something you said at the very beginning, I just want to touch on the whole quality of content. I appreciate you realizing that you want to put more quality into stuff, because a lot of times stuff gets watered down and it's not what it could be.
Right.
Then people end up unsubscribing and stuff like that. So for you to realize that and still, engage us as a community, I appreciate that first off. So I want to let you know that. Yes, sir. Then I'm logging on here between my phone and my Xbox. I forgot the last thing that you had mentioned.
I was talking about the representation. I think, like I said, when black men don't get involved in the conversation, you get people like Don Lemon being the representation of that voice, or some other questionable character.
Yeah, I think it all comes down to and I'm gonna say this wholeheartedly, and I really hope that somebody gets it when I say this. Black people don't know who we are because we don't know a culture. What culture do we have besides the fried chicken, besides the watermelon, besides the music? We have people who are representations based off skin color and not the way of thinking.
Right.
Reverend Al Sharpton, who I don't know how he's still living. I really don't. Dude look like you breathe, you blow him. He looks like he about to fall over every time I see him. And Jesse Jackson just need to go sit down. Yeah, you ain't popular no more, man. Sit down. But they don't speak for me. The whole Black Lives Matter doesn't speak for me. There's nobody that speaks for the whole entire white community. Why is it the black community?
Right.
There's nobody that speaks for the Asians. There's nobody who speaks from people from Africa. There's nobody, it's only black people. It's only people of color. Why? Because we need somebody to speak for us because we all think the same. So we're going to get one black guy. He's going to be the token black guy, Don Lemon Squarehead, and we're going to put him on the show, and he's going to be the voice of the people. Don, much less his preference and what he likes to do in the privacy of his bedroom, he doesn't have the same thinking as me because he did not grow up the same way as me.
Right.
I can't think like him. He can't think like me. So why is it that we have to have our appearance, our representation in one person? You know, like Batwoman. Batwoman, that debacle of a show, for one, it's just a debacle, period. First, it was the representation of the lesbian. Then it was the representation of a black girl. When literally you look at the comic books, and it's a fictional character, but let's be real here, she was never black.
Correct.
Never. You know, now, you know, depending on the universe you get into, and I think it's in all of them, Lucius was black, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's you know, that's it. You know. But we have to have a representation in everything. Why do we have to have a representation in everything when not everything represents us? We, you know, I personally, my favorite superhero before Black Panther, because ain't nobody in my generation know about Black Panther, because wasn't nobody reading comic books. They just saw Black Panther, superhero, black man, fighting against crime. We support him, Wakanda forever. My personal favorite was Static Shock.
Oh,
Because
word.
that's who I grew up. That's who I grew up watching was Static Shock. And then from there, it was Spider-Man, a white guy. I don't care about representation. There's no reason why we need representation in the community just to make us feel better. You know, nobody's going to make me feel different if I don't have a representation in the movie or a representation in the show. Annie was changed to a black girl. Why? For representation. Is like I said earlier. I'm looking at your face on the screen. It's funny. You just made me laugh. But is for what reason are we doing it for? Besides to make black people feel good, we hurt you so much in the past. You ain't hurt me. You probably ain't even hurt me. You may have hurt somebody on my dad's side. You probably hurt somebody on my mom's side, but you didn't hurt me. So I don't know why I'm crying about it. Because I'm still breathing. Like I literally have encountered racism once and twice in my life, maybe. Other than that, I don't go looking for it. You go look for it, you're gonna go find it. You draw. What is the saying? What you think comes to be. Like when you speak it to the universe or whatever, it comes to be. You attract what you think. You are what you think. So if you go looking for racism, you're gonna find it in every single thing. Granted, there still are dumb people out there, not negating that, but it's not what it used to be in the 50s, 60s, early 70s, even into the 80s, really, where you had people straight up telling you, nah, go to the alleyway, come get this food. You know, like at least you can go sit in the restaurant instead of having to take the walk of shame to the alley where they toss you your food on the ground. You know, it's so much wanting and needing of everything because we don't know who we are. Can't nobody trace themselves all the way back to the true tribe of Africa. If you can, congratulations. I'm happy for you. But it is very hard to pinpoint exactly where you're from. And it has to do with the slave trade, yeah. But it's also the fact of you don't know yourself. You don't know your culture. You know your culture is what they say your culture is. Jordans, music. Everybody want to be a rapper. Everybody want to play basketball. Everybody want to do this. But we would gladly soak up anybody else's culture. Because let's go watch Bruce Lee, one of the baddest dudes to ever walk this earth. We sit there and watch his movies all day. My favorite, Jet Li. I could watch any of his movies all day because that culture, and not just a culture, it's what they're doing. What do black people do? Make music. Everybody's getting into the culture, but not everybody is representing the culture the right way.
Right.
Like you said, there's a difference between niggas and black men. So, you know, it's stupid to have representation in everything because not everything represents us.
Correct. But
so
that way. But I agree with you though, especially with the culture, and it's something I've said in the past that the black culture is a commercialized culture. You know what I mean? It's been bought out or sold out or however you want to look at it. And I honestly don't feel like, you know, here there's ever been a real thing. You can talk about jazz along the way, but I don't think music or in any era should be the sole definition of culture.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the thing is that at one point, until we can talk about LBJ and everything when that changed, and we became the welfare state, but that I would think that Black culture was American. I mean, it just is what it is. But we're so anti-American at this point. We're told, I don't know when it started, that it's bad to be happy to be an American. Everybody else is happy about where they come from.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
you could hear we can't stand. Oh, it's terrible. Even though you've had more advantages, especially growing up, no matter how poor you may have been, being here in America, you've had more advantages than probably 92% of the rest of the entire world. Just being here in America. But we get stuck on the old shit, and then like I said, everything's got to be blackened. It's got to be some kind of rap shit to it. And again, like I look at commercials, and it's like again, marketing teams are intelligent. They do their research, and so when they do certain stuff, you can tell exactly who it's marketed to. When it's always a Black product, it's always some type of hip hop type rap and shit going on in the back. It's always some motherfuckers dancing. Oh, come try our new chicken flavor. And motherfucker break dancing with a piece of chicken in his hand and shit or whatever. And it's just like, it has to be a point where you have to stop and think, it's like, damn, is this what they think of us? Is this what I'm contributing to? But it works. Obviously, most motherfuckers don't care. It's working.
It works. It works because I don't know if anybody remembers, but when the elections were out, they literally had strippers.
Yeah.
Strippers. Get your booty to the polls, and none of them, Honcho, none of them. I've been to a strip club once in my life, once, and I was like, okay, congratulations, you can slide down the pole, cool, hip hip hooray, here's some money. But none of them were white; they were all Black.
Yes.
And we all know Magic City. We know about the strip clubs in Texas. I know y'all got a couple of them. Y'all be getting down, according to James Harden. Y'all be, that man is the MVP.
And then won a championship in the strip club. Couldn't win it on the court, but he won that bitch in the strip club.
Man, look, the stripper bowl is a real thing. And so they made that commercial strictly say, hey, get to the polls. Vote for this one person who we're going to check our booties for you to get here. That's what they think of us. And some Black people is really like, yeah, I'm gonna go get my butt to the polls because that lady shaking her booty told me get to the polls, and I'm gonna vote for the man who said that great Negro. And if you don't vote for me, you ain't Black, and I can't leave Massa. I need Massa. I need my Massa. I can't leave Massa. Really? And then they literally, and there was a joke about it. They literally had the drug dealer with the vaccine talk about, I come in contact with people every day. I come in contact with people every day, so it was necessary for me to get the vaccine. Every time I got on YouTube, it was Black doctors talking about the vaccine and us. What the heck? Why? Why is there so much pandering? Why? We don't need it. We're not kids. Some of us are kids, but the adults aren't kids. Is so much pandering. So much pandering. The vice president was picked because she has a darker skin hue than the president. Let's not kid ourselves. Because let's go look at her track record in California. She locked up some Black people for some weed that she said she smoked and then laughed about it. But that's your vice president. Y'all voted for her. Congratulations. Is trust me, man. It's so much representation crap that's not even needed. I'm waiting for, because I'm gonna speak on this. I'm a big NASCAR guy. I grew up watching NASCAR. NASCAR was my first sport that I ever loved. Right? Bubba Wallace. He's Black. Now, for me, I know the racial undertones in NASCAR. I know it's deep Southern, Louisiana, North Carolina. North Carolina is the hub of everybody's home office there. I know how that sport is. Will I still go to a racing event? Yes. Will I sit my black behind down on that chair and watch them go left 200, 500 times? Yes. Why? Because it's a sport I like. Now, Bubba Wallace won. Granted, I've seen plenty of races in that way. A whole bunch of hate was thrown his way because he's black. I know that. It's not going to change my opinion. The issue I have with it is the media's pushing of it, NASCAR's pushing of it, and Bubba's pushing of it of this is going to be a barrier breaker. It's not going to be a barrier breaker. Bubba will probably be one of the last few black people in NASCAR. There's only really two, Wendell Carter and Bubba, and they're the only two legitimate people in NASCAR that have been black that have actually won a race. Wendell Carter literally got screwed out of his race, and Bubba won because of rain coming on the track. Bubba's career is an average 15, 20 place driver. That's horrible. That's horrible in NASCAR. That's like being the Cleveland Browns. And I live in Cleveland, so I could say that. It's piss poor. Danica Patrick, first woman in NASCAR. She was horrible. She wrecked every single week. Or she wrecked somebody and wrecked herself. Everybody, was, oh, she's great. She's doing a good job. She's doing that. No, she's not. Because if she was a white male, he'd be out the sport. If Bubba was a white male, he'll be on an average team still. He wouldn't have gotten his new deal with Jordan and Denny Hamlin. Maybe if he had some little bit of talent that they saw. But there's optics to it. I saw in the chat Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson's Asian, got kicked off for saying the N-word. Nobody knows he's Asian because he looks like a white guy. And in the technicality, it's a minority attacking a minority. But he got kicked off. Nobody thought he was going to race again. He came back in the best equipment and won the championship. Because he has talent. Bubba Wallace does not have the talent of Kyle Larson. You know talent when you see it. Aaron Rodgers is talented. There's levels to this, as they say. And the representation is levels to it. Not everybody needs to be a basketball player. Right. If we have a show like one of the shows I know was real popular is Sisters. I think it's by Tyler Perry again. But we have a lawyer. But she's involved with some drama with a dude and was sleeping around and her marriage is falling apart and it's abusive and it's everything else. Why not just have a successful lawyer? Why not just have that show of representation of a successful lawyer? Why does she have to be involved with drama? Why does Tyler Perry have to dress up like a woman to get views? So, and y'all might hear my daughter because she's coming in here now because she's supposed to not be up. And here she comes. Okay, I apologize, y'all. This is my daughter.
That's all good.
So, but yeah, the representation is not needed in every single thing because it's how can I put this the best way? Not everything represents everybody. Like I said last time when I called, I could dribble a ball, I could shoot a ball, I could catch a ball. I can't run that fast. I'm not gonna be a sports player. Okay, so give me some drink. Well, accordingly, y'all, I gotta go get something to drink. So I'm gonna go be a good representation of a father and go take care of my daughter and get her something to drink so she can go back to bed at 11:30. And have her call her mom too. All right, y'all. I'll be in the chat. Yeah, this whole representation is not needed for everything because it doesn't represent everybody. That's what I gotta say, Honcho.
Okay. All right. Well, Mr. Devontae, I'm gonna let you do your daddy thing, and I appreciate you calling in, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good evening.
You too.
All right. Hold on 1 second. All right, give me 1 second. I'm gonna put you on hold for just a second. Give me just one moment, and then we're finna chop it up, Mr. Day. Just 1 second. Pardon me, I gotta do something real quick. Give me just a moment.
I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm alive. That's the start. Yeah, man. Yes, sir. I had a test. I got a C on it. I could have done better. I admit that.
Oh,
But I mean, shit happens, you know. I still have a 3.5 plus GPA average. I'm cool with that. Trying to maintain that, so we'll see what happens. Like I said, I don't like settling for less. I honestly don't. But I'm like tired, like emotionally tired, and but no one gives a fuck about excuses. I learned that from the military, so I was gonna shut up about it and just try to do better. I already talked to all my professors about what's been going on, and they've worked with me, so you know, I'm appreciative of that. I've told them as such as well. So I'm just trying to just get back to where I was when I first entered school. I was on a dean's list like the entire year, you know, shit like that. Um, but that was before the coof. That was before someone sneezed on a bed in China or some shit, and you know we're all fucked now or something like that. You know, usual fuckery. Yeah, yeah.
man, speaking of school and fuckery, did you see the whole deal? Have you seen the whole deal going on at ASU behind Kyle?
Oh, we don't want Kyle here at this point. Kyle, and I said that Kyle should just do. And how do you look? I appreciate you saying that. I'm gonna do my best to try. I'm gonna try polarizing these this semester. I'm gonna do my best. The finals coming up pretty soon. I got 2 papers I'm working on as well. I just finished a draft for one, submitted to the professor, and I'm gonna be working on a 5-page one for my legal environments class about contracts and shit. I should knock that one out the park. That one's not gonna be hard. So anyway, but yes, Heidi, I appreciate you saying that. As for Kyle, speaking of college and Kyle, and thank you, sir. I love you. Let's see. Hey, why even bother going to that school? Just do online learning and just come up with an alias.
Mm-hmm.
And that should be obvious for given reasons. Just say you're I don't know, Dial Bittenhouse or some shit. I don't know at this point. Some shit. Howdy, I don't want you in my class, Howdy. I'm ready to curse you out, bro. I'm glad I didn't have your ethics class when we were debating each other. I'd have gotten flustered and then started throwing shit at you, probably.
I'd time you hard and hide you if I was anybody. Just a whole club do the trick.
Presidents was, God damn, Heidi. I'm gonna start reading the chat, bro. Heidi got me so bad.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, that was the
Shout out
president
to
of
Heidi.
Argentina. It's not the same thing. It wasn't an
Oh,
American
okay.
president.
that's Argentine GPA. That shit's like 1.6. No, okay. That's racist. I'm sorry. But Kyle, man, I wouldn't even be at this point. I would be getting the lawyers ready, bro. Get the lawyers ready. That's all. Because this is a case example why his life is forever fun. Devonta, thank you, brother, and shout out to you and your daughter, man. She sounds adorable. Absolutely. But this is what Kyle's life is fucked. I mean, he damn sure ain't gonna get a job, and he can't be a waiter at Applebee's. You know, you have people trying to take his picture half the time, and then other people trying to grab it, hit him with a skateboard or drop kick him, or you know all the other shit that happened a year ago. He'll be having all that shit. So it's shit crazy, bro. It's crazy. So yeah, his life is forever. That's just case in, but his life is ruined. Why people like the media need to pay him for a stable environment, like they did that Sandman guy. And Sandman didn't kill anybody. He just smiled and he got broke the fuck off. He'll never be able to say how much money they gave him, because I'm sure that's on the NDA he signed. That is stipulations that we'll give you some money, so you don't drag us out in court, because we'll drag in court for years, but you'll win eventually, because we did fuck you over. But yeah, let's drag it out in court for years, and then by that time, people run out of money. That's how they do these big conglomerates. If you take it all the way to court, they'll drag it out for years on end. Pharmaceutical companies are real good doing this when they poison the whole community with some chemicals, some shit like that, or one of these industrial plants. Like, I think, what was it, a paint company? They, like, put some carcinogens within the water or something. It was killing the animals, some of the plants, and, of course, the people were affected. Went on for years. And you had one lawyer doing a pro bono trying to represent, not the whole town, but, like, a lot of people in the town, like certain families and stuff like that, who brought the suit against, I think it was Dow Chemicals that did that. But I'm sure there's more. So, you know, that's one of the downsides of rampant capitalism. People will forgo morals for money. So, yeah, I give communists that, but communists ain't got no morals either. So fuck both of them, I guess. Maybe the truth is somewhere in between. Who knows? Yeah, but college, get the lawsuits, brother. Get the lawyer ready, brother. That's all I can say about college. Get the lawyers ready. Just more wood in the fire. The more reasons why your life is forever changed, even though you're found innocent of all charges by a jury of your peers,
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, it's fucked
CNN's
up.
gonna run out of money pretty soon. They got at least they had to pay what was it, Sandman, and
Yep.
they got, I think Don's got the little deal coming up. I won't be surprised. I mean, that's probably a him thing, but I'm pretty sure they'll try to find some way to. If I try to find some way, at least fuck it. Yeah, yeah. I'm being oppressed by CNN by seeing my perpetrator on television every night, smiling and enjoying himself. It's caused me PTSD. Find out I have anxiety now because of it. I want to get the news. The only place I know how to get the news is CNN, and that pervert's there. Make some kind of stupid ass excuse and fuck.
Which one?
Oh well, damn. Oh yeah, well that's a whole nother conversation. And then yeah, so I mean it's unfortunate, but yeah, and that's the crazy. They were planning some kind of march or something. I think the march is still on, even though he's withdrawn from school. So that's like I said, it was never about Kyle in the first place. They were just looking for a reason. Everybody needs to. I think they put marches on their resumes. Now I was at the BLM march of 2020, the great BLM riot of 21. Yeah, I was there. And fucking might get you hired for a diversity and equity officer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. It reminds me of that Evergreen State College. There was Brett Weinstein, the professor, who was actually kind of on the side of the protest initially. Then they turned on him for the reason, probably because he was white, because there was a lot of PLCs and whatever the fuck else was there protesting. I didn't know what the fuck they're protesting for. There was like no white people were allowed on campus, or black people didn't have to be on campus all day. I'm like, okay, if I'm teaching a class and y'all have some BS reason why you don't have to come to my class, then guess what? Everyone who comes to class today is getting 5 points extra credit on their final grade. There you go. There you go. Y'all deal with that shit. I ain't doing no motherfucking curves. None of that shit. Fuck you. They say like, hey, that's not my fault. You guys just happen to miss the day. But I was giving extra credit. I want to put in my syllabus. I give random extra credit. Y'all have to deal with that. So sorry. Yeah, that happens a lot. Shit. Anyway, and it reminds me that like these colleges have been known for being indoctrination centers for certain lifestyles and practices and standards. I mean, how many women go lesbian in college, and then the minute they graduate, they get a fucking husband? I remember a lot of young women. The first one I went to college was a college in near Fayetteville, North Carolina, and there's Fort Bragg there, so you get a bunch of Army guys. And a lot of girls I knew, I used to hang out with like a lot of potheads and shit like that, and people would party all the time because hell, I was rampant alcoholic / drug addict back then. Back in my backsliding days, before I found love and all that other shit. And I'm just keeping it a buck. And a lot of people I was hanging out with, we smoking weed and then making out with each other in public, and it was great to look at and shit like that. But when we see them years later, they're all married with kids and shit, and have to do it in the Army or the Navy. But it was North Carolina, so they had big Army bases down there. So yeah, Army in that case. It's like that was just experiment. That's just how it is. Just people be experimenting in college, all types of wild shit. I stood in the room mostly, until I started partying. Then I just stuck to weed and beer. Every once in a while I dabbled in pills, but that, like I said, backsliding, I don't touch none of that shit no more. So people grew out of it, I guess. But yeah, college is a big indoctrination center for all sorts of alternative lifestyles. Some of them stick, some of them don't. Like communism, alternative lifestyle. Sometimes it sticks, sometimes it don't. It's big. So Kyle would do himself a lot of favors not worrying about college right now. Maybe give it 2-3 years. Just get the lawyers ready, bro. Yeah.
I got a question for you, Mr. Dan. There's something we talked about a while back. I don't know if you remember the case where the female officer alleged she was reaching for a taser, but then she shot the kid in the car, Dante Wright.
Damn.
And he was...
that sounded familiar.
It was a white car.
Did the boy die?
Yeah, he died. I think he died
Damn.
a little bit down the way. Now, he wasn't the most upstanding citizen, but I know his trial's coming up soon. And, when we were talking about black issues and different things, why is it that, we as black folks love to undermine or tell these wonderful fairy tales when it comes to stuff? Now, I personally do believe that she was wrong, or that she needs to be held liable. If she alleges that she was reaching for a taser and she grabbed the wrong thing, then and she was actually like a weapons training officer or some shit like that too. And so, yeah, she said she reached for the wrong things. I think that she needs to be held, accountable. So there's that. I mean, it's to me, it is what it is, even from watching the video. Because when she shot him, and her partner was looking like, "Damn, bitch, why the fuck you did that?" But I think that there should be, something there. But the story that everybody's telling, he got shot because an air freshener was hanging from his window. he didn't deserve
Wait,
it. Like,
what?
yeah, that's the story being associated with it. He just got shot. He was. I don't think the car was stolen, but I know he had warrants and he had just actually skipped out on a warrant prior
Oh,
to and had some
wow.
other shit
Okay.
going on. So it wasn't just like he was just some innocent black guy. We saw all the pictures, you know,
Okay.
the dope boy poses, you know, with all the money and all that other shit. Again, but you don't
Yeah.
know. Well, I think what situations with cops are different because, you know, if you're a law enforcement, you kind of have an idea when you're dealing with certain individuals, you know, their history and all that other stuff. But yeah, that's the message that's getting spread around. He got killed for having an air freshener hanging from his rear view mirror. Black people can't drive fresh. So it's like, okay, it's just, it's it's like what is going on? Like why do we downplay these things and you know in situations like this?
Yeah, like Benno said, they'll sensationalize it because he's black, but they'll sprinkle out some of the details, like the self-driving car and Waukesha. What's Mr. Elon Musk? He's a lot explaining to you about these self-driving SUVs running into crowds of people. He's a lot explaining to you about that.
The Christines.
Yeah, was it that super truck? That shit looked like a damn rectangle box and parallelogram and shit. I knew it was a bad idea. Yeah, slow it down. You'll see the weird ass shape. That's ugly, by the way. He can do better. Anyway, I just hate that those facts are like leaving out the fact that when they got pulled over in the first place, one that they had an amount of warrants or the car was stolen. Now I'm not saying she should have put out the goddamn gun instead of taser. No, she said she was going for the taser supposedly because she wanted to detain the man, not kill him. And that's sad. And she does deserve to have some sort of punishment for that. You're supposedly the fucking weapons training officer. You should be trained to tell I assume that taser was yellow with like black stripes and not completely black. I would assume so.
Yes, it was.
I'd assume you're supposed to have it on different sides. So she doesn't need to be on the force, in my humble opinion, for that. That she needs to get a completely completely full charge. Not necessarily. Now, if he was an innocent man who's got pulled over for no reason whatsoever, maybe it's like a random stop and you pulled it out and killed him. Yeah, yes, you deserve for that to happen. There's a story in South Carolina. There was a guy who they pulled over, and the cop came out. He thought he was somebody else. It was a case of mistaken identity. He told the guy to get his driver's license so he could look at it, and the guy goes to pull out his driver's license. The cop shoots him like 3 or 4 times. And the guy's like, I thought you pulled out a gun. You told me to get my license. The license was like in like a compartment somewhere. Yeah. He was out the car. The cop told him to get the car, all that shit. It was really fucked up. That cop got fired. The guy didn't die, but that cop did get fired, and he is doing prison time. Yeah. He got like 5-10 years. Okay. So people do pay for that shit. Cops do pay for shit like that. But in that case, that guy didn't do anything, as far as I'm aware of, that deserved him to get shot. He didn't go for anything. Well, he did go for the license, but, you know, it didn't deserve that. That cop had a trigger finger, or he was just too scared to be on the goddamn force, so he should have just calmed this shit down. So, yeah, so cops do pay now more than ever for their mistakes. There are certain cases, though, like the one about the guy who was doing all them, he had him on the ground. Yeah, but yeah, she wasn't right for what she did, but yeah, she was a criminal from what it appears to be. You're right, Benno. So, you know, both sides are wrong on one or the other. So she deserves to do some time, but maybe not as much because she did have a legitimate reason for pulling him over. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's how the judge looked at it. I ain't a goddamn judge. Yeah. But yeah, I'm with you, Benno. I agree with you, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, like I say, because I think they fired her like immediately after that. So I think the law enforcement definitely tried to distance themselves. And again, there were other cops on the scene too. So I think that she'll probably end up doing a little time. Like I say, it won't be satisfactory to anybody, but right. You know, it is what it is. She will serve some time, I think.
Right. Yeah, I'll agree with you on that, bro. But now you mentioned quality or quantity. I was noticing the title of this episode. And there's also the whole thing about Santa and wokeness and what was it? Okay, so you got black Santa, then you got the one white Santa making out with some dude or whatever the fuck they was doing. I don't know. I don't watch mainstream media anymore, and I damn sure subscribe. I am subscribed to Netflix. I'm angry about that because of that goddamn cutie shit. I'm mad I'm still subscribed, but they got a hella Korean dramas and shit. I be watching them, bro.
They do.
They like Squid Game. I mean, Squid Game is, you know, everybody's seen Squid Game, but they got a bunch of other shit too. So, you know, and guess some anime I like, so I'll be fucking with that too. So that's why I'm subscribed to them pedophiles, and I'm mad about that. I gotta cancel my shit or find a way to download that shit for free. Yeah, I just said that out loud. Yeah, fuck you, Netflix, fucking bitch. Yeah. Fuck that shit, fucking chummos. Anyway, oh Lord. I don't know, man. It's hard to tell, but I mean, yeah, I think quality is more important. Definitely.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm saying. With the route that, as much as I enjoyed the the daily stream, that's what I say. I want to get to the point where I want to put out a better quality product. And so that's what I say. We're going to be moving to the weekends. I think it's necessary to do so because there's so much more that can be done, and I'm looking forward to that. But speaking of Netflix, and I know you say you watch more of the Korean stuff. Have you watched The Harder They Fall?
No, what is that?
It's a black cowboy movie. It's actually not terrible.
Okay.
Because when I saw Jay-Z was a producer, I was like, oh, this is going to be a bunch of shit. And then I fucking watched. I'm like, actually, you know what? It's not bad. But here's what niggas did though, and this is why I say nigga, like when we're talking about I think Benno said sensationalizing. When it comes to sensationalizing shit, niggas are good for doing that because in the beginning of it, it says these are real people, right? Now,
Okay, but is it based on a true story though?
Absolutely not. And that's where niggas tried to like go and take it, and I was like, shit, half them motherfuckers, and I don't even know if they're black. When you go back and look at their history, some of them motherfuckers look Indian and some other shit, but they made them all black for the movie. And again,
Yeah.
so they created these scenarios where all these people made up, and it's not factual. But again, like I say, it's still a good movie. But I say what niggas did though is they went and took it and just ran. Yeah, this just happened. This is just the Black history they don't want to tell y'all about. Like this shit didn't happen. Brother. None of these people knew each other. You know what I'm saying? Like none of these people knew each other. They never crossed each other's paths in real life. This was just characters formulated to make a story. It was a decent story. And then, it's just niggas.
They should be killing me about that. They be like, man, this the real shit. We the real Jews. I'm like, bro, calm down, bro. Calm down. Calm down. Calm the fuck down, bro. Yeah, fake Jews. I'm like, bro, I mean, if they real or fake Jews, they winning right now. So I mean, fuck it. Just calm your ass down. But yeah, it's kind of a revisionist history. Not saying about black cowboys. No, those definitely existed. Absolutely. So I'm not saying that, but like, kind of like telling tall tales about like some of these people. But give it a bit of time. Watch some of our culture icons 50 years from now be the story of George Floyd, and they'll it ought to be a real interesting story. I'd tell you that right now. And I'm not celebrating his death, but I'm not gonna put that man on a pedestal. And I have every right to not put him on a pedestal. Some of y'all want to put him on a pedestal. I'm sorry what happened to him, but I'd say if that was my family member, first off, I'm in a situation now where I have family members that are on some other shit. And you know what? I do my best to be there for them, and I don't wait till something happened, and they're dead before I start giving a fuck. It seems like no one gave a fuck about that man until he died, and then everybody gave a fuck about that man, which I found amusing, especially these social media people. Oh god,
it's funny, when you mentioned George. How long do you give it? Yeah. How long do you give it before the George Floyd movie comes out?
Oh God, I don't even know, bro. That's gonna be one hell of a movie. I know that. They're gonna paint him as like a saint, bro. I mean, unfortunately, I think that's unfortunate. You need to paint people how they really are, straight up. But that's not gonna happen because they're gonna be pushing some agenda to be selling. So that's all. So we already know what it is.
Like I say, I expect it within the next. I get about 18 months. I wouldn't be surprised if they're working on it already. If they're already working on a book, a biography, again, I don't.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Well, they talk about the pregnant woman he robbed. Will you mention that?
Doubt it. Like I said, it'll be painted. It'll talk about how, just the prison system was to him. And I'm sure there'll be, lots of other excuses and things being made. And again, like this is the problem, and this kind of goes back to what we were speaking on earlier about us, soft shoeing, soft loving black folks. Like we got to keep it 1,000. We need to be real and we need to be honest about it. It's an outcome of the decisions that you make. You know what I mean? And it's the same reason that you have black individuals go on to be successful in many fields because they chose to, abstain from the nonsense, not associate themselves with the shenanigans and the tomfoolery, but you notice those people tend to always be a bit more conservative unless they're like in some form of entertainment or something. But but
Right.
we can't point that out. We can't address that because those are coons and house Negroes, and
Yeah.
they sold out. They obviously they doing something for the white man. Like that's always the logic. Well, if you out there rapping and dancing on tables, you're obviously doing something for the white. If you're a rapper, you're obviously doing something for the white man because more white people listen to rap music than niggas do. So it's like,
Yeah.
especially if you're of some relevant status. So again, we got this whole perspective all fucked up. But it is what it is.
And that's right. Oh, I didn't interrupt. Well, okay, two things. So, Mr. Isley, now, yeah, he shouldn't have been choked dead in front of a crowd. I agree. Now, even though those were techniques that were prescribed by that, I think Chauvin should have had some more common sense and just said, let me ease up off of a little bit before something happens. And he should have thought about that, but I'm not a cop, so And the canonization of George Floyd, they're making this guy literally a saint. I think you shouldn't do that to any human being. Period. I don't give a fuck who it is. You shouldn't be putting anyone on a pedestal like that. I think that's ridiculous. He was just a human being. It's tragic what happened. And I think it's even more tragic the amount of chaos that came in his death and people using it for their own political purposes and shit. I think that's the most disgusting thing possible. And then you got these commies saying we need to defund the police. The amount of deaths that are spawned from that entire ideology, no matter what you think of the police are a necessary force. And a lot of these same cities, New York, Baltimore, St. Louis, Cleveland, so on and so forth. Why is it this year that they're up in how many police that they're funding for the police? Why is that? Maybe because all the people getting smoked last year was like, hey, you know what? Yeah, we need more cops. And I guarantee you this, it didn't matter until it started hitting some of these neighborhoods, some of these nice little affluent neighborhoods where dudes playing kick in the door and shit. When it was in little Negro neighborhoods, y'all were cool with that because, that's just black culture. When they started hitting some of you white liberals, you motherfuckers got scared. Y'all started saying, we need the police. And I've seen videos of like people like, yeah, we need the police back. Yeah, we're done with this shit. We're done with this shit. Fuck that. We're done. So bring the police back. Yeah. So, here's what it is.
Mm-hmm. Shit,
Georgia plays Tupac. Facts.
When he had that little square, didn't he have that little square out there in Minnesota? There was a bunch of crime happened right there in the little George Floyd square. Niggas don't give a fuck about this shit. I keep trying to tell motherfuckers, niggas don't give a fuck about none of this shit that's going on, right? Like all they hear is the bad part. Do something. Exactly. And that's all that matters.
Sorry, I mean interrupt. My bad.
No. And like I say, it's crazy. And again, I agree that should he have gone out in that fashion? No. But also, if you actively do things that put you in a situation to interact with the police, well, multiple possibilities can arise. You know what I mean? in the fact that like niggas blamed everybody around the situation, but George for his decisions. Blame the cashier for not taking the fake money. Like that shit was the most mind blowing shit. Like that's out of all of this shit, that's the person who I feel the worst for was that young man because you could see he was visibly distraught. Like he even told him I should have just took it. I should have just took it. I could have paid. Like he blames himself, or people have blamed him and made him think that it's his fault that this whole thing
the fuck
occurred. Terrible. But yeah, and so that's I feel bad for that young man. And again, like people pressure him, oh, he could have took it. Like, man, fuck that. If I was in this situation, knowing what the possible outcome could have been, 10 times out of 10, I'd have said, no, sir, I'm not finna pay. I don't know you, nigga. I'm not finna have to take the money out of my pocket to fucking pay for your counterfeit fucking 20. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. It's crazy stuff, man. And like I said, but everybody got blamed. And again, Officer Chauvin probably, he should have been a bit more aware of what he had going on. I'm sure that, some of the things that were found in his system probably weren't beneficial to his, to his outcome.
Longevity.
Yeah, exactly. Longevity. But my thing is, like, and again, it's unfortunate that he died. But just like you said, that they basically made this man a saint. There was a Catholic church who replaced him on that painting of Jesus. And it's crazy. Like this is a problem. You know what I'm saying? It's a fucking problem. Like, how do you go that far? I know dope fiends that overdose in my youth, they ain't get this kind of love. You know what I'm saying? Like shit.
Oh hell no.
It's like goddamn, or motherfuckers that got like it's crazy shit. I don't understand it. Like it blows my mind that motherfuckers got so indoctrinated or so brainwashed by television that this man is the Black Lord and Savior. And hey, you can be a dope fiend and be great too. Like, but yeah.
It's partly infuriating because I know some people using it just to push certain agendas, and people falling for it. Like oh god, it's just infuriating. It really is. And these people who y'all think is down for the cause, oh yeah, he's down for the cause. You know, Sean King, he can say the N-word all he wants. No, I'm sorry, Joseph Rosenbaum, the Chomo, he can say that he gets N-word pass. Like, where do you get the unmitigated gall to say that? I don't care about the N-word pass, treating that guy with any sort of respect. That's my problem. This guy was a repeat abuser of children in the most carnal of nature. But we need to mourn him. And these fucking cuck-ass celebrities like Mark Ruffalo, nicknaming him JoJo. Like, really? Really, nigga? Really, bitch? Like, this ain't the Hulk. This is the Sulk. He's a fucking simp. Dude, fuck this dude, bro. And all these dudes, they end up deleting their comments. Like, oh, it never happened. I didn't say it. We deleted it. No, bitch, the internet's forever, bitch. We got archive.org. We can we take snapshots of all your fuck-ass tweets so people can remember the kind of fuckhead you are. So when you're selling your next bullshit Marvel movie, I know, like, this guy's defending chomos. I'm not watching that shit. You can go suck a dick. Or go let JoJo fuck you in the ass. You have to kill yourself first and go to hell, then you let him fuck you in the ass. How about that? I'd rather fuck you in the ass than another little boy like he did with them 5 boys he abused. This is disgusting. This is where the morality of this country has gone. We're defending fucking child molesters, ladies and gentlemen. This is bad. This is bad. This is bad. Now, the people have the right now, if he had stayed home and just jerked off the CP, like I said last time I called, he'd be alive. He'd be allowed to abuse other children. So I have no problem that he's dead. Yes, sir. I mean, I don't even care. I don't care. Like, look, not everyone deserves to be alive. I'm put it like that. There's people, certain states deem like, hey, this guy or this woman is too crazy and invents with wild shit. They don't need to be here no more. Kyle just decided. Well, first off, Kyle didn't decide shit. Kyle was defending himself. These people ran up on him. So, you know, I'm kind of tired of talking about Kyle because, like, okay, it's done. He's free. Let that man breathe. As simple as that. Now we'll move on to the next rage-inducing story that sow racial division in this country, just like the fucking globalists want. Now I'm on my conspiracy theory Negro shit. You know, it's all just sowing division in the country. That's all it is. Just sowing division. You can't have a decent civil conversation with anyone anymore. It becomes a goddamn race riot all of a sudden. Yeah. It's really sad. It wasn't. It wasn't like this at one point. I swear it wasn't. I swear it wasn't.
China has won. They achieved the goal, and they got us all. Like I said, they don't have to attack because we're gonna tear ourselves down from the inside. Like that's how it's gonna work.
It's sad, man. But hey, that's real nigga shit, man. You know, so I don't know. Oh God, but I mean, but it just sometimes at a loss for words, just where we're at as people. Like, what the fuck happened? You know. But it's going to keep on continuing. I mean, this stuff has to come to a certain level to where either goes one way or another. This stuff didn't just stop halfway. This agenda that's going on, it has to go all the way. It has to play out all the way. I don't see this stopping, and we do a goddamn 180. It has to go all the way to where some people want, and then by that time it might be too late to do anything about it. You know, it's fun. And yeah. Farrakhan said the blacks launched a space spot around 2000 BC. You know, I've heard of stuff like that, Heidi, that pro-black, you know, the black man was the first man and stuff like that, and the Wapians, and the spaceship went to the planet Risk and shit like that. Like, this is amazing. This is amazing. I didn't know. We unlock our metanetia and our pineal gland to the third eye beings and shit like that. That's amazing.
Space niggas. I appreciate
Haven't heard of any police officers killing black folks in a while. Thought it was a major issue and we were being hunted. Guess Sleepy Joe saved
heard about
us.
On CNN, you know, first off, they're trying to find someone to replace Como because he's helping his brother hide his sexual misconduct and shit like that. Even though the real story about that situation should be Chris Como and his shuffling of old people into the most vulnerable people into goddamn nursing homes where they're around other COVID patients, and then they get knocked out the box. That should be something to talk about, but it ain't gonna happen. So, you know, Cuomo's lucky he's getting hemmed up over the sexual allegation shit. You know, you don't go to prison for that, as far as I know. But not yet, anyway. But man, I don't know, man. I'm just at a loss for words nowadays. I just sit here kind of laugh because, like, I just don't get it. Man, I'm just getting old. I'm just an old ass dude, man. I'm just getting old. You know, that's it, man. That's it. But that's all I got, man. I mean, yeah, man. You gotta change the format up. Do you think, man? Kyle, bro, don't worry about college ticket. You're out for school, bro.
Yeah.
That's cool. Just do some lawn and garden work with the family. Y'all find a new house to move in. You might want to bump up, you know, your where you're gonna live at, because if he doesn't sue anybody, I'd be fucking shocked. Yeah. Completely shocked, because his life is over in a sense as he knows it. So he needs some to get some compensation for that. I was laughing at that the space Negroes thing, the Great Space Negroes. Yes, as Papa Joe would say.
We might have to talk about Space Negroes on Saturday.
Right. Hey, no, think about Farrakhan. I used to grow up listening to shit like that, but then I read about how they did Malcolm X. Fuck him too. Fuck him too. He was one calling from Malcolm X's head. You know, because they had a difference of opinions. And people don't like Malcolm X, but what people don't understand about Malcolm X is he grew up in some of the roughest of racist times. Now, does that justify his racism? Arguably yes, arguably no. But he actually changed. That's why he fell out with the Nation of Islam. He saw the hypocrisy in that organization. And it's supposed to be like, you know, still the righteous man. This guy had like 9 wives. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I think, you know, the leader of Nation of Islam at that time. Mm-hmm. And then he became a more traditional Muslim when he did his pilgrimage to Mecca. Mm-hmm. And he saw white Muslims there and Asian Muslims and all these different Muslims just coming to Mecca. So that changed his views and opinions. And he said one thing, and here's the problem. This problem right now. He said one thing when a young white person in college asked if she could help with the movement. Initially, he'd have told this woman, hell no, get away from me, cracker, or some shit like that. I'm just kidding about that part. But then he said, you know what, you can help with the movement, but here's the thing about that. We don't mind white people helping with the movement, but you cannot lead the movement because it stops being a black movement. Now look at some of these black movements nowadays ran by everyone but black people. All the seems the NAACP. I don't know who's running. Well, we know who's running BLM. That'd be George Soros and some of the other people. Yeah, they're the ones donating millions of dollars, because that's how you lead an organization. You donate the most fucking money. You ain't got to be on the board of directors. All you do is donate $200 million like George Soros did. You leave that motherfucker then. Yeah, Elijah tried to kill him. Yes, he did. Now, I hear all this stuff about the FBI done it. And the FBI killed him. Well, I guess the FBI started hiring some black faces because all the witnesses said some black men ran up on him with shotguns and blew his back out, blew him away in front of his wife and daughters. The fuck out of here.
I just saw something like the other day where they dropped the charges on the man who killed him, or it was something, or they released. I didn't look into it, but it was something recently where those who were involved. Either I don't know if they. I got to go back and look it up, but and I know it was his daughter died, but it was something with the charges. Let me see. I want to say like last week, and I meant to go back and check it out, and I did not follow up.
You said it's exonerated, John? Who, Elijah Farrakhan or Louis Farrakhan? What convict?
Yeah, that's what it said. Two men convicted of killing Malcolm X will be exonerated after decades.
Oh, that's nice. Okay. Well, I mean, then who did it? That's the fucking question. Because if two white dudes had ran up in there and shot Malcolm X in front of that entire room of black people in the Audubon ballroom, the race ride would still be going on today. Now, those black people, unfortunately, we do what's our own, man. But I get called a coon for saying this. Like, it's not a coon, it's just what I've seen from history, man. It's really sad, man. It's really sad, bro. I don't know, man.
Yeah. And the fact that
that's all I got, man. I'm sorry, go ahead, brother.
No, just saying the fact that we're so willing, or is that it's so easy to find someone to do it, so tell you everything you need to know.
You calling his house and shit.
Appreciate the love, Ken.
Yeah, Kenneth. Yes, sir. Yep.
You seen what they did to Kyle?
So, yeah.
He had to withdraw from Arizona State because of the amount of student outrage. SHTA maths.
Just stay in the house for a while. because motherfuckers might try to, get revenge on you. This is for that chomo and that wife beater, because these are moral heroes nowadays.
Those were beautiful black lives that were lost in that in that fucking protest. That's what motherfuckers said. Beautiful black lives that were lost. Motherfuckers, niggas just say shit though. Niggas say things and just sounds come out, and other niggas be like, yeah, them sound good. I agree. And here we are.
I'm gonna put it like this. Yeah, you're right, sir. You're right. Oh, howdy, I interrupted again. I apologize. But so before I leave, I'm gonna say this for the Black Twitter. Anyone on Black Twitter? Have you seen any of your friends that were defending these people? The Huber guy he's kind of like second, third, distant third place on like just levels of fuckery. Because I don't agree with domestic violence, man or woman, any of that shit. I don't like it. That's all that's grown up. If you defend people like that, you call him an ally. If you defend a child molester and call him an ally, you have lost. You are lost. And I don't know if you're able to find yourself. You can't even find the fucking parking lot. Never mind find your goddamn car. You're that fucking lost in the sauce. And you need to really examine yourself and what you consider to be righteous and morally just. Because it used to be kind of like a clear cut set of morals nowadays, but morals have been degrading in this country. Lack of moral standards, and this goes back to Yuri Bezmenov. Lack of moral standards will erode a country quicker than an atom bomb. Because and this is some. So now look at Hiroshima. Back in 1946, Hiroshima looked like a goddamn crater because it was. And if you look at Detroit was like the auto capital of America. If you look at Hiroshima now, I've been there. It's a beautiful city. Look at Detroit now. It looks like a fucking crater. What does that tell you? That tell you lack of moral standards, lack of a bunch of shit. It's sad. That's all I gotta say, man. Before I start offending people about my coon ways, I'm not gonna apologize for that. I apologize for instructing Honcho because that's rude, and I don't mean to. But I'm not gonna apologize for what I said. Fuck all that.
Never. You good, Dan, man. And then keep cooning. I'm gonna keep doing it. So shit, keep cooning. Don't let them stop you. We'll continue to be the coons, not the rappers dancing on tables for white executives. But we're the coons. Hey, it is what it is. Yeah,
I'm just trying to get that right. I'm trying to get that Charlemagne check. You want to talk about selling out? I'm trying to be like Charlemagne, minus touching a woman they passed out and shit, all that shit.
That's not it. Yeah. I think engage in that. Yeah, I'm gonna just revamp the whole den come 2022. That just gonna be. I'm gonna just sell it all the way out. I'm just gonna to the highest bidder. I'm gonna just be pro BLM. I'm gonna be all this shit, and then behind the scenes, about these stupid motherfuckers. These motherfuckers want to give it this shit. I'll use the BLM money to fund the real causes. But it's crazy stuff, man. It's crazy shit.
Oh, man. You know what, Heidi? I didn't when I was more liberal years ago. I thought slippery slope was just some buzzword. Like, what's slippery slope? Oh, that's bullshit. I swear to God, time changes everything. Because how it started, we just want to get married. How it's going, we're here to convert your children. Okay. That's all I got, man. Good night, y'all. The melatonin's kicking in. I'm about to pass out. I got class in the morning. I got to drive people to the doctor. Shit's wild, man. Y'all have a safe night, bro. Oh, thank you, Honcho. I appreciate it, man. Let me stop interrupting.
No, you good. Don't listen to Heidi. Heidi don't know shit.
Heidi get in my skin, bro. Yeah, oh, my God, Heidi.
Heidi's a terrible person. She copies off people's answers to get her grades.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Let me get a premium to the OnlyFans. I'll forgive you.
A free special in December. Oh, man.
I'm good. I ain't trying to get sick tonight. I'm good, bro.
Well, that's a bet. Well, Dan, the man with the plan. I appreciate you. And like I said, don't worry about this. See, we know you're gonna end it off the right way. You know what I'm saying? So it's all good. But it's good to hear from you, sir.
And I appreciate it, man. Y'all have a safe night, Heidi. I still fuck with you, man. Broderick, good luck with that wrench, bro. Okay.
Yeah, good luck. Luck is a strange thing, It doesn't always work in your favor, but yeah. Shout out to Dan, man. And it's about that time. I'm finna get ready to wrap it up. I'm a tired old man. And that's what it is. Oh, no, I don't blame Kyle. I don't think anybody in here blames Kyle. Well, I don't know. We might have a couple of Kyle blamers. Ron Liza probably blames Kyle. So what about, so Kyle should be faulted for bringing a gun to a protest, but not all, what was his name, Geiger Counter? Or whatever the fuck, he brought a gun to a protest also, right? So did he deserve what he received? I don't know. I don't know. You probably would. You probably would, Black Ashley. Kyle come around you with the Febreze bottle. You're gonna be all on that shit. You better pop locking and dropping it. All right, man. It's time for me to call it a wrap. I appreciate y'all. And like I said, things will be changing up a little bit. I'll let y'all know. I'll definitely post some stuff ahead of time. I'll probably be cutting some old clips, dropping them on the channel and other social media. So make sure you're following all the proper social medias. They're listed down below. Den Show Live pretty much on everything. Den Show Live on Facebook, Den Show Live on Twitter. Actually, it might be the Den Show on Facebook. I don't know. Den Show Live on Twitter, Den Show Live on Instagram. The Den Show, or Den Show Live on Facebook. All the links are in the thing. Just hit the description, hit the links. And, just rock with it. Like I said, but I'll make sure to keep it updated. I'll post some stuff here on the channel. Maybe drop some old calls as shorts or some shit. Like I said, definitely got to get on the content repurposing train. There's like years worth of content on this fucking channel. It's crazy. But I appreciate each and every one of y'all, man. Saturday evening, 7 or 8 Central Time. Like I said, we'll be going about 3 or 4 hours. Saturdays and Sundays on the weekends, having a good old time. And never have to worry about that because the Texans are terrible and they never play late games anyway. So, that being said, I appreciate y'all. I thank each and every one of you. Also, you can use denshowlive@gmail if you got something you want to email, a topic that you would be interested in talking about, something, maybe come across a news article or something that you want to share. Feel free to email denshowlive@gmail.com. With that being said, well, I think the easiest, I don't even know if I still got that other link up. Let me see something. The probably easier way to do all that shit is, oh, I need to fix that. Okay, I need to fix that. Link tree shit. So I would say go to edhoncho.com, but that's not right. I gotta update that shit. All right, so yeah, Den Show Live. With that being said, so the producer, I appreciate each and every one of you. I thank y'all for being here. You can be anywhere in the world. It's been my honor, my privilege, but more than anything, my pleasure. Until Saturday evening, y'all take care of yourselves. And, I didn't get that winter vagina checked out by a real doctor, an American doctor. I'm gone. Oh, man. Terrible stuff. Terrible stuff. Heidi, you're a terrible person. Shout out to everybody. I appreciate all of y'all. Y'all get some rest. Y'all take care of yourselves.